6:30 बज रहे हैं, one of the coldest nights we've had. और अब ये जो है ना, ये जाएगा शिकार करने. ये देखें, ये तो 3 कंबलों में लेटा हुआ है. So we're just going to head out on foot. तकरीबन 5-6 घंटे का रास्ता है. कल भी हम 5 घंटे चले, couldn't find anything, but we found a lead which we're following today. Hopefully 5-6 घंटे में I really hope we can shoot the bastard and just go home because at this point अब जो है ना, अब थोड़ी बस हो गई है, थोड़ी नहीं ज्यादा बस हो गई. Wish us luck. Blackout for the next 24 hours or so, maybe more. So see you on the other side.
कहीं पे वजन ज्यादा आ जाए ना तो रबड़ स्लिप हो जाता है. मेरे साथ हरमंग में हुआ था. तेरे भी रबड़ वाले इनके स्टील वाले हैं? हाँ.
Even though we were supposed to have 2 porters for the day, we were told to pack only the absolute essential stuff and get rid of the non-essential things. Looking at Hafizuddin Chacha's shoes, I should have realized things were going to be serious.
اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.
جزاك الله.
After a dua khair for a safe and successful hunt, we left the camp. Somehow this morning felt different. It felt more purposeful, but somewhere dangerous too. Looking at everyone around me well equipped made me a little nervous. So did spending the night in the mountain out in the open. So we're off. Today is D-Day, it's the real deal. Yesterday when we walked for 5 hours, that was on a road. Basically, there was car access. Today where we're going, there is no road. It's the actual hunting ground, the meadows. We've got porters carrying our stuff because we might have to spend the night. And it's so cold, it's -16 last night, that the hydel power station that makes the electricity has frozen or so basically. Most of the crew have got those studs on their shoes that you can put on. आप लोगों ने फिल्मों में देखा होगा जो किट्टू पे चढ़ते हैं. I don't have those. But I'm saying this not to worry my family or you guys, because when I post this, probably we would be back and then all would be good. So, wish us luck. Got a hiking stick and everything. I won't alarm anyone by saying that it's dangerous, but it's not particularly really safe because I've been told not to use my camera and put it in my bag so that I have control of both of my hands. Currently we're on the road so I can use the phone, but it is going to get pretty hairy out there. You can already see the frost in my beard and mustache. It hasn't been this worse ever since we got here, so let's see how it goes. I'm so underprepared for this with a hiking stick. All of those guys have pickaxes. And look at this one. ये हमारा शिकारी देखें.
One of our porters taken out.
हाँ, one of our porters taken out. वो लोकल होता है और उस पोर्टर का बैग अभी ये हमारा शिकारी उठा रहा है. So wish us luck. That is where we're heading. Snow is gonna get this deep, knee deep, as we ascend. And our party lead is a 65-year-old man. How embarrassing is that for me?
नीचे नाला है, नीचे वो क्या है, कितनी ऊपर नहीं रखते.
ठीक. नहीं ठीक है, वो टूट गया सुबह. ठीक है, मैं एक हाथ से फोन चला रहा हूँ. सिचुएशन रिपोर्ट. As you can see, there isn't a path on the ghar. Those guys are making it. That's our heading. Straight paths I can do. Up the mountain, uphill I cannot. So, अच्छा मेरे साथ एक partner है. But they've told us to go at our own pace. So that's exactly what we're doing. Oh shit. Wading through the snow is the worst part. And it was a slip है because तीसरा दिन है आज कि धूप निकली है. So everything is extremely frosty and slippery. I think I'll take a break here. What about you?
I'm good.
इधर तो
रोके ले यार हम भाग आने ला सबको हमारा
स्टिक वाला स्टिक तो बगाड़ दे. Hardly after 2 hours into the journey, the hike got really technical. Now we realized why the locals had these long 6-foot sticks, because they would lean on them to the left so that they don't fall to the right. Our hiking sticks were not meant for the job. لا خفير أول زي جوركا خفير أول زي جوركا. At some places they had to carve out a path and we had to cling to the mountain face for dear life. One misstep and we would plummet a couple of meters straight into the freezing water below. As the going got tougher and tougher, I kept thinking to myself, I did not sign up for this. The only real physical activity I've done in the last couple of years is probably kickstarting Vespas or bikes. That's it. I literally got up from a couch and started climbing a mountain. The only thing that kept me going was the countdown in my head. Only 2 hours left. Only 2 hours left. We're almost there. We're almost there.
एक पत्थर है इसमें वो पाँव नहीं रखना.
ठीक है. You might also be wondering that if it's so tough and dangerous, why am I using one hand to hold my phone? Well, I'm not. The phone is in the pocket of my jacket, recording as we go along. But then I was told off by Hafizuddin Chacha that the phone will fall out of my pocket and we'll never be able to get it back. So I had to stop recording. ठीक.
ये मोबाइल बिल्कुल सेफ है इस चीज में. ऐसे नहीं कि नीचे से दौड़ गिर जाएंगे.
बंद कर देते हैं.
बंद कर लियो.
Now we have to cross the water. The porters here are another breed altogether. वो खुद भी जा रहे हैं हमारे लिए भी रास्ता साफ कर रहे हैं. I don't know what's wrong with this side of my trouser, but look at this. It keeps on going up and snow. इस टाइम खैर पाँव ठंडा नहीं होता. My feet are sweaty because we've been walking. सारा का सारा जो है, everything is. Oh, my laces are untied. Let me tie them. This is all snow and ice in here. Aji, how's the morale?
A little messed up.
Because
I have a feeling.
he has to carry this backpack as well. मैंने तो छोटा सा पहना हुआ है. चलो खैर है. अब इतना आ गए हैं.
अब तो मार के जाएंगे.
By the way, this is Hamad. I did not introduce him till now because I was saving the best for last. We have been friends for over 18 years and have been through all kinds of highs and lows of life together. So this time we decided to step it up a notch and experience nearly dying together. Situation report. We've hiked for about 2 hours, and when I say hike, it wasn't a trail, it was a proper hike. We didn't need these, we needed pickaxes for that place. Narrow ledges with 2 feet of snow. Alaga sebra ka kana dak. Tabar yo chakra garmo wala. Ma, vaya. Voy na pura le. Go on. I've never done something this extreme in my life. Never ever. Really unfit to be doing something like this, but There's no turning back now. Committed. Mind over matter. I think at the end of the day, it's not the stamina that takes you. It's a spirit. Well, stamina too, but spirit also counts. सब इसकी वजह से shit you do for your friends. Last time he came alone, तो शिकार नहीं मिला, बहुत गिले किए इसने. This time I couldn't let him go alone, which is luck, because now it's not just about the Ibex. Just after हम लोग आए उससे वापस भी जाना है. That's the worst part, so let's see. River crossed, we started ascending again. But Mukhtar Bhai was concerned about mine and Ramiz's progress and suggested that we turn around.
पर चले जाएंगे ना.
इस तरह का रास्ता नहीं है.
हाँ.
लेकिन ये नीचे तक ठीक है.
हाँ.
ये नीचे तक वो हमने उस पहाड़ पे चलना है. उस पहाड़ नीचे से तो वो देखें पीछे देखो. वो जो यूं खड़ा है ना.
अब देखें असल में बात है ना इतना आगे तो
हया क्या तरीका कोई सुनो बस क्यों तुम थे थाने से हेरा भी फैसला या कोई.
We didn't turn around because in my head I thought they said that it's a 6-hour journey. If we're slowing them down, maybe it can be an 8-hour journey. 5 hours are already down. We can't walk back 5 hours, but we can go ahead 3 hours. That was the mental math going on in my head. But I couldn't have been more wrong. On a slight positive note though, we were told to put on our camouflages because we had entered the Ibex territory. You can tell by our camouflages how extremely unprepared we were, putting on a jungle camouflage in a snow environment.
बस आप तैयार सारों ने साथ चलना है कोई रुकेगा नहीं सारी लाइन में जाएंगे मोबाइल अब ये लास्ट वो है आपकी वीडियो उसके बाद आप मेरा
Even though Mukhtar Bhai just said that sab saath chalenge, but unfortunately we were slowing them down. And in these mountains, time and daylight are precious. So unfortunately we had to divide into 2 parties. The forward party had Hamad, Mukhtar Bhai, Hafizuddin Chacha and Daud the wildlife watcher. While me, Ramiz and the rest of the 2 boaters who had to do the heavy lifting stayed behind as a rear party.
that where we came from, the path winds all the way over the mountain. Those are our porters. This is how deep the snow is. More than knee length. This first notch is knee length, and the deepest part of the snow is still here. Look at this, look at my shoes. But at the same time, look at the view. Look at that view. Portals पीछे हैं, advance party आगे है. I'm on my own more or less now.
Six hours in, my concern was not just fatigue now. My shoes were not meant for this weather. As I mentioned earlier, I did not have crampons and I did not have gaiters, which meant that a lot of snow was getting into my shoes. The shoe size was a tight fit, so after walking for 6 hours, my feet had swollen, which meant that they were very uncomfortable in the shoes. A lot of snow had gotten into my shoes, which had formed a layer of ice beneath my feet inside the shoe. And despite wearing 2 layers of very thick socks, my feet were freezing. My toes were aching. And if we did not reach our destination soon, I was fearing frostbite for my toes, or maybe worse.
That's where we came from. This is stiff because it got wet. There's snow all inside the shoe. Same for this. Change the gloves. These were a lifesaver because वो दूसरे गीले हो गए थे. We're just stopping here to take a breather. They spotted 10 Ibex, जिसमें से 3 मेल हैं, कुछ फीमेल और बाकी बच्चे हैं. Not cut out to do this shit. All because of him. literally not cut out to do this shit. How close does that village look? But when you go loop, which loop, it gets frustrating because you can't really see where the end point is, where the destination is.
The good news was that we had caught up to the rest of them. Also, this was my first glimpse of looking at real life Ibex, even though these are little babies, but they were accompanied by adults. They might look close, but they were almost 1.5 kilometers away on the next mountain. And that is where hunting gets technical. You can't shoot from 1 kilometer away, and even if you do, it's almost impossible to recover the animal in this terrain. Spotting the Ibex here would become a turning point of the entire expedition. The advance party left to chase after the Ibex, leaving me and the rest here. This is the last video clip I would record for the next 24 hours because of what happened next. Since I didn't record anything, I will try to recreate it with AI to the best of my abilities. As darkness fell, the hunt was off for the day. While everyone else moved on to set up camp, me, Hamad and Ramiz stayed behind to rest. Because we were so tired, we could hardly breathe or walk. After resting for a bit, I made the almost fatal mistake of heading off alone behind the advance party, thinking Hamad and Ramiz would catch up to me. This was one of the biggest mistakes of my life. These AI clips might seem a little exaggerated, but they're not far from reality. After darkness fell, a really cold wind picked up. My body was struggling to distribute energy between walking and keeping my body warm. 12 hours in, I could hardly walk. I would lay down in the snow after every 2 steps till I couldn't keep on walking. So I started to crawl in the snow till I couldn't keep crawling. So I accepted my fate and took shelter under a juniper tree, and I said my final goodbyes to the world. I recited the kalima, took off my glasses, and waited for the inevitable to happen.
10 hours and counting. We stopped for a break and we lost rest of the team. It's just me and Ramiz here against the weather and the wolves.
I, on the other hand, even though I had accepted my fate, but fate had not accepted me. Having curled up under the tree for half an hour, which felt like an eternity, I regained some energy, and as soon as I crawled out, I saw a light far away in the distance. It was the advance party looking for us. Looking at the light, my heart swelled with joy but sank at the same time. I was happy because someone was finally coming to get me. But at the same time, the light was at least at an hour or two's distance, which I did not have the strength to walk or even crawl. But crawl, I had to, down a slope, through a stream, and over a ridge, to finally reach the light and to discover it was Mukhtar Bhai with a bottle of hot water. He asked me where the others were, and I told him that I had no idea. I had been alone for hours, and I feared the worst for them. While we were having this conversation, we saw flashes of light behind us. They were fine and alive. Mukhtar Bhai told me that the camp was hardly 30 minutes away, and I should head there while he went to fetch Hamad and Ramiz. And finally, after walking for 14 plus hours in sub-zero temperatures without any food, I reached the camp, collapsed, and my body went into shock. Over the next 12 to 16 hours, all we did was rest and eat. We needed to bring our energy levels up for the journey back. Initially, it was planned that we'll only spend one night in this cabin, but under the circumstances of blistered and frostbitten feet, we decided to stay an additional day and use those 24 hours to recover.
Good afternoon from the Wakhan corridor Instagram. After last night's events, I did not think that I would be talking to you guys. I have no clue how I survived. Because I thought I was a goner for sure. The snow was knee deep. As you can see, it's still calf deep here. We did not expect 3.5 feet of snow, which drained us of everything. I only had a cup of tea in the morning. Not a single sip of water all day. I can't even walk 11 hours in Islamabad, let alone hiking up a mountain, wading through snow. The worst part was, in the first 3 hours, snow got into my shoes, and with pressure and the heat of my foot, it turned into frost. So I basically hiked 8 hours with ice all around my feet and toes. I was sure that I'm not going to see my toes again. I do have 3rd to 4th degree frostbite on my toes and under my feet, due to which I can barely walk. And now we have an 11-hour journey back. I was separated from the group, somewhere ahead of me, somewhere an hour behind me. I was all alone in this wilderness. And I still had a hike in front of me. This is a plateau. This is a meadow. To get to this, there was a significant hike. My hiking stick broke. I was miserable. I couldn't breathe. I just lay down under a tree in the snow. And I just thought that was it. And I just prayed for some sort of strength and energy. And I don't know where I got it from, but an hour later, I got to our shelter and to fire. It took 2 people 15 minutes to take the shoes off of my feet because it was all cold welded together. I couldn't take off my socks. Couldn't take off my shoe, so I had to take off my sock, which was again attached to my foot. I have blisters on my feet, and I did not think that I would be able to go back unless we call a rescue helicopter or something. And this is not far-fetched. This was a serious point we were considering. But I had some medicine here. The guys told me, the locals, कि घी की मालिश करें गरम करके. That improved it a lot. But now my shoes are torn. And they're gonna try some more hacks with me tomorrow. This last night was another experience altogether, which I would never want to experience again. And you know what was the one thing that kept me going? It was my son. I kept telling myself that I have to do it for shares. And just for information, we're right here at 3,500 feet. And as soon as the sun set, well, actually the sun set for us at 12 p.m. 12 p.m. के बाद हमने धूप नहीं देखी क्योंकि it went behind the mountains. Right now it's 3:30. There's no sun to be seen. And with the wind, maghrib के साथ ही तेज हवाएं शुरू हो जाती हैं. That's why sometimes I would hide behind a rock. Sometimes I would hide behind a tree. And temperatures were down to -25, as we had been told. And my clothes might have been good for -15, but not for -25 winds. Wish me best of luck for tomorrow.
Even though we were protected from the elements in the cabin, but as the saying goes, इंसान किसी हाल में खुश नहीं रहता. The cabin wasn't a 5-star experience either. It wasn't big enough for us to stretch our legs all the way, so we had to sleep while sitting down. If we stretched our legs too much, our sleeping bags would end up in the fire and get burnt. The smoke from the fire was unbearable, so much so that one night we got up and put out the fire. We would rather bear the cold than inhale all of that smoke. The cabin itself, if you look at it, wasn't windproof. It was made of stones with big gaping holes through which -25 winds rushed in. Overall, those 2 nights in the cabin also motivated us to get back down the mountain as soon as possible. At this point, the hunt was not on anyone's mind at all, and all we wanted to do was go back down the mountain and go home. After loading ourselves on sugar and drinking tea that was brewed from poppy seeds, we prepared for our journey back down. As I said, my shoes had come apart, so the locals had it tied with string. They were going to make me makeshift gaiters from Hamad's sacrificed cashmere wool scarf. Hamad also generously gave me his crampons so that I can have maximum grip with my injured feet on the way back. Because what had happened on the way up, we were more determined to stick together, and we were more determined to get back down as quickly as possible so that we can get home. Surprisingly, the morale was high. We felt more at one with the landscape. The porters even got us some sticks cut down from the trees around the cabin. Now we felt like as if we were one of them. The journey was going to be long and hard, but what kept us going was the idea that most of it was going to be downhill. The only worry this time was that the sun had been out for a couple of days. The snow was drying fast and turning into ice, which increases the likelihood of avalanches.
This is our path going up. A sheer climb direct up there to the top. Yesterday, 2 days ago, we came down. This is almost 1,000 feet of elevation, 1,000 feet of drop within 2 minutes because we saw the Ibex over there. You guys have seen the video, and we had to chase it down. So all of that in 2 minutes. और उसके बाद हमारी बस हो गई because then we had to climb all the way up till that mountain again. But this means we're almost home. यहाँ से हमें 5.5 घंटे लगे थे to the campsite, और अब हम 2.5 घंटे में पहुंच गए. So making good pace. On our way back till this point, no one had spoken about or mentioned the hunt. We just wanted to get down in one piece. But when we reached this checkpoint, the same point where we had stopped while going up, we saw a few more Ibex, just like we had while going up.
सारा गैंग पहुंच चुका है. ओ जी चाचा, बता भाई, हमारे इनका नाम मैंने पूछा.
We see the village. Civilization.
Even though they were far away, we decided to stop to take a breather, brew some more tea, and just watch them go by on the other side of the mountain.
चाय का सीन ऑन है.
आपने पानी पीना है?
हाँ, पिला दें थोड़ा सा. वहाँ पे अभी Ibex फिर रहे हैं. Their hideout is whole mountain.
मीठा टेस्ट देगा ये ले.
But as soon as we had our tea and had packed up our gear and started moving towards the village, we saw a fresh pair of Ibex tracks. Right along the track we were walking, we had an Ibex on our side of the mountain. The hunters and the porters once again rushed after them. Hamad asked me if this time I would be fine being on my own, and I gave him my blessing and finally go and achieve what we had set off to do. Half an hour later, we heard a gunshot.
So we're almost down to the village. Moment to reflect. Was it all worth it? Walking for 11 plus hours in frozen feet, almost enduring frostbite, almost dying. Just being downright miserable, being locked in that room for more than 36 hours. So the question is, was it worth it? Hell yes, it was. We couldn't.
Hours later, we returned to the village victorious. Even though chopping up the Ibex and stuffing it in our camping bags took another couple of hours, and walking to the village. But all the fatigue was gone, just like that with that single gunshot. The whole village celebrated. In Chitrali culture, it's a moment of pride not only for the hunters, but for the villagers in whose hunting ground the animal is hunted. We received a hero's welcome, including garlands, music, and a lot of selfies. Looking back now from a year since it happened, it changed me deeply as a person, not because of the suffering, because of the whole experience. The mountains, nature, and possibly the close proximity to death changes you as a person. It makes you more humble. It makes you closer to your creator. I might end up having bigger adventures than this, but this cannot be recreated. And this adventure shall always have a very special place in my heart, and definitely shall remain a core memory till my last breath.